Midwest Marty, the one-man party.
Yay!
Hi guys, welcome back to Midwest Marty, the one-man party. Today we're going to set up Thespians. Now Thespians are something that you get with Pippi. You can find them in your admin panel under cheat, and they'll be at the very bottom of the building tab. So here you can see all the special tools that you get with Pippi, and Thespian is right there. You spawn that into your inventory and then it allows you to place one down. Now what's cool about the, here we go, you can see it shows like a green silhouette of the guy you want to create. You plop him down and then it gives you your actor right there. They call him a Thespian. So basically there's lots of things you can do with a Thespian. Let's start with the basics. First off, let's hit E and open it up. You can actually change the name. This is going to be Joe. You can change their profession if you want to put one in there. It doesn't really, it's just for graphics only. It'll show up under his name. Now as far as the Thespian type, there's lots of different Thespian types that you can make. You can do, regular doesn't actually interact with a person at all. Regular will just, of course, not be able to be activated or clicked on. They're just for looks. You got banker. A banker will be able to deposit Pippi funds and to be able to withdraw Pippi funds. You got a profession merchant. You can actually set up specific professions for your Thespians, which I can cover that as well. There's a social merchant. Social merchants sell things that are character provided. So in other words, if you want to sell your stuff, kind of like an auction, but people aren't bidding, you just set the price. You put your inventory into that Thespian's inventory, and they will sell it for you, and people will pay Pippi currency in order to get your stuff from that Thespian. Dialogue Thespians are ones that you'd use for quests. Anytime you need to be able to talk to the Thespian and have it say something to you, that's what you'd use the dialogue option for. Under dialogue, you also get access to a Mushi editor script for it as well. Now Mushi editor is where you can use a programming flow similar to that of Unreal Engine 4, and you would be able to, of course, do like a script flow to make a quest or whatever the case might be, and I'll cover that as well. When you do have it set up as like a merchant, you can also set it up with a voice, because when you click it, it will actually talk to you. For example, I got it set up, Joe set up with a Riller's voice. We'll hit apply and then close. When you talk to him,
Hey.
he says, hey. So you can actually set it up with a specific voice accordingly.
Greetings, traveler.
Now let's go back and edit him again. Let's hold down E and then edit. So now, looking at Joe here, you can see you can also do head tracking, where their head will follow you around and track your character or not. We don't really need Joe to have wandering eyes here. You can change what animation that Joe will do. This is kind of an interesting addition. You can adjust, like, make him waving, beckoning you closer, or angry and pointing at you. You can do all of the emotes, basically. It gives you a list of all of them, and you can pick what you want Joe to do. Now, another thing that's neat about this is they do allow you to change what equipment Joe is wearing and what he looks like. So there's a couple different ways you can do the equipment. One, you can use a kit, which is like a pre-designated group of equipment that you've assembled ahead of time, and assign it to him after you've got that assembled. That could be useful if you're doing like an entire village full of NPCs that you're creating. Or you can just go and drag and drop equipment manually into each one of the spots on the character, and then he would wear it. It also gives you the ability to save a few layouts in case you got like a bunch of commonly used layouts that you want to use, but you didn't want to have to do a kit. So it gives you that option as well. The character editor lets you change all sorts of stuff that's related to the character's appearance. So when you go into character editor, you can see it lets you change between male and female. Well, Joe's going to be a male. Not a real fan of the eyeshadow that Joe's got, so we'll tone it down a bit. But you kind of get the point, you know. You can change everything from all of the head style, the hairstyle, face, the war paint. You can change the colors of everything, hair color, eye color, the eyeshadow, lip color, and the war paint color. These scalers allow you to do all sorts of stuff, adjusting the NPC's height. Well, yeah, obviously, the anatomy, eye angle. You can do all sorts of stuff. Basically, it's actually a little bit more thorough, I think, even than the character editor is now when you first start the game. So they've done a really good job with this. You can also, if you want to make a freaky-looking character, you can uncheck where it says vanilla ranges, and that'll allow you to make giants and hobbits and things of that nature where they're so big they go right off your screen. So you could go nuts with that. We'll keep it within vanilla ranges for now, though. There we go. So that's what that all does, and when you're done with that, you just hit apply and close. But that's all the stuff for editing your actor or thespian or whatever you want to call it. So now, the other thing that's important is the Mushi editor. I'm going to kind of touch on a few things with that. When you start out a new Mushi script, don't be intimidated. It looks like Unreal Engine 4 and you think you're going to be completely flabbergasted with options. It's not really that complicated at all. Really, when you right click, you'll see you get these are the different types of nodes you can create. Each one of them has its purpose. The most common one you're going to use is a dialogue node. Basically what this does, you type in it, whatever you type in it is what the character is going to say. So you could have it say hi. This is what Joe's saying, by the way. And you'll have them say hi, player name. Well, now this is important. Whenever you put things in brackets like that, it's going to be a variable that's associated with the character talking to them. So in this case, player name is going to be my character's name is going to show up in there. And you have to, whenever you want it to flow a certain way, you have to connect the output to the input of the new box. Just like that, so it knows it goes, this is where it starts, and then boom, it goes to Joe saying, hi, player name. So we'll save it, file, close, hit apply, and close it. And also we got it, since it's doing a Mushi, we got to make sure he's not set up as a merchant, but a dialogue. There we go, since he's going to actually talk. Now look at that. He said, oh, my character's name is test server. So he says, hi, test server. That's kind of funny. So there you go. That's the Mushi script and a little bit about how that works. I am going to do a separate video on Mushi scripting in general because there's so much you can do. Right now we'll kind of concentrate on some of this other stuff with the actors and NPCs and what you can make them do. One thing I like to use on creating these guys is a T-zone. T-zones help out a little bit here. It's this little box that you can kind of place. It's not visible to other players, only to the admin. So what this does is it does certain things when you walk inside of it. It triggers something to happen. So what we're going to do is we want to control how Joe reacts when he sees you and when he's talking to you. So we're going to edit this T-zone. First off, we're going to change its area that it is on the ground there to like about, a little over 2 something, so that way it's a bigger box to step in. There we go. So that's in place. Now, what you got to do is under settings here and all that, always make sure that it's set where only you can actually change this thing and edit it. But you want everybody to be able to have access to its effects, basically. So, I mean, usability and editability are two different things. I'm going to leave for usability. I guess I'll just put everyone, but I only want myself to be able to edit it. Visibility, we want nobody to really see it except us, and we'll just hide it from everybody with these checkboxes, so that way it doesn't show that little dialogue thing like you can use it or talk to it. Now back here on the config tab, you can see you have edit event and edit event, right? This is for when a player enters the circle and when a player leaves the circle, the square. So when you enter the square and when you leave the square. Let's go ahead and edit it. Add a new one. Open this up. And you can see when I click on this, you can name this. I'm just going to call it something simple like player enter and player exit. And what happens, action, what happens when someone walks into it. We're going to say, this says, what does this affect? We're going to say Joe. This is going to affect Joe. Yep, there's only one choice for self. And you can do a couple different things with Joe when you step into that box. You can either change his animation of what his body is doing, or you can adjust a local variable that's attached to you that will basically have a certain effect on the environment. Not necessarily Joe, but yourself. So there's different things associated there. What we're going to deal with this time is the animation. Now, when we want to have it set up to where he does something different when we get close to him. So let's have him do a conversation when you get close to him. See, it makes it a little bit more animated. Makes it look like he's, actually doing something when you get close to him instead of just standing still. Now, then you also got to set up when you walk out of the box, what's he going to go back to doing? Well, let's go ahead and do the same thing. Add again. Open this up. We'll just call this player exits. And we'll do action again. It's gonna be affecting Joe. And of course, if there's other things around you within the local range, you can select those objects too, to make the box, change what's going on with those objects. So there we go. This is gonna affect Joe's animation. And we're gonna have him do, how about scan, where he looks like he's looking for someone. Yep, that works. Okay. So now, on entering, he does this. On exiting, he does this. Let's just apply this and see if it works. So now we're going to enter. You can see, yeah, he's talking to me. Bibbidi boppity, bibbidi boppity. And then you walk out, and he's back to, oh, where'd you go? So, yeah, it looks like it's working. And if you want it to just look better on your end, you can also edit this T-zone thing to not show the visual area, so it's not as obtrusive, so it doesn't bother your gameplay. But you can see that is basically how the T-zone thing works. You walk in it, you walk out of it, and so on and so forth. Now, the other thing I should probably cover why I got the actors on the screen here is the professions. So we'll go to the admin panel. We'll go to the economy tab with Pippi. And you can see here's the professions. Remember I said you can make vendors? Well, this is a way you can make vendors. You can make a vendor. Let's call this barkeep. Alright. Now here you got a barkeep. You got a new profession that you can make the player be. Now, the barkeep has got to be able to sell certain things if you're going to do that. So let's go ahead and hit add item. It's going to go ahead and generate a list of everything that's in the game for things that can go into your inventory. There we go. Let's do wine. What do we got for wine options? Here we go. He's going to sell, where's that desert berry wine? That's Highland. Oh, cactus wine? No, that would work too. Honey, desert wine. There it is. And we got to choose what it buys for and what it sells for if you want him to be able to buy stuff. I don't recommend turning these guys into people that buy stuff, because what'll end up happening is you got players on your server that might exploit that and start getting all sorts of currency by grinding stuff and then selling it to the guy. If you want to do that and have like an economy on your server, that's fine. But you can see when you mouse over these little questions, it says this is how much the item will be bought off the player for, and this is how much the player will buy the item for. Well, we want to be able to buy the item. Let's say it's for 10 silver. That's quite a bit for wine, but hey, inflation's a bitch, right? Alright, so we hit add item. Now you can see he has something that he sells, and it shows that his selling price is 10 silver. Now that that's done, we can actually change his profession if we want to make him into a barkeep. We just hit edit, pre-assign profession, barkeep, and we'll change this to a profession merchant. Hit apply. Now it says Joe the barkeep, see? And when you talk to him, welcome, he says. And look at that. You have an inventory list of wine that you can buy from him. It shows your wallet, how much money you got on you, so on and so forth. Hunky-dory. Cool stuff. So it's neat the way this works. And of course, if you do have them set up to be able to sell, where you can sell stuff back to them, you can do that here. So it's all stuff that's possible with this. So really, the Thespians are useful for a lot of things, but vendors can really make a city appear a lot more alive, especially when you got stuff like this set up where the characters are more animated. This kind of stuff can make your server a lot more appealing for people to come to. So that's the Thespian tool in a nutshell. Now, the social vendor works the same way as this vendor. The only difference is it pulls up a screen for you that you can load his inventory up and determine what you want to charge for it. And then when a player other than you clicks on the character, it will show all the stuff that they can buy. And then you can come and collect the money off of Joe when it's done being sold. And you can do that with lots of stuff. So custom-made armor, custom-made weapons, because you got a really cool weapon thrall, whatever the case might be. So this can be incredibly useful for a lot of different things. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, make sure you like and subscribe so that way you can see any future videos coming out about Pippi and making your server a better place. Also, don't forget to leave a comment on what you've done on your server that makes it more appealing to other people. I'd love to hear what you think about all this stuff. Again, Midwest Marty, the one-man party, signing off.
Thanks for watching. Who did that?